I'm pumped to be here. As I mentioned, I'm Blake, and I'm going to be walking you through something you're maybe not leveraging today. I'm going to pull up, actually, that would be helpful. There we go. Which is marketing efficiency. And this is a big CAC lowering lever. And I want to walk you through what the heck is marketing efficiency, and then take you through 12 tactical examples of how you can implement this for your own store and walk away with some actionable insight today. I also want to caveat, I'm giving away a $75 gift card to one lucky winner on this call today, to a Digioh customer of your choice. So all you need to do to win this gift card is actually just engage with me today. So jump in the comments, ask me questions, engage with your peers, give feedback, let me know what you think. And I'll be picking one lucky winner from the comments. I'll do that after my presentation in the comments. So just engage with me today and let's make it fun for everybody. So as Amir and Caitlin mentioned, I'm a D2C marketer turned SaaS marketer. I've worked at some Shopify Plus brands that you might know, like AutoBrush, before jumping over to this side of ecom. But I'm also really familiar with a lot of the tech that is in your tech stack today, like SendLane, like Wonderman, etc. I worked at several companies in this space. If you're unfamiliar with Digioh and who we are, I know we have a few customers of Digioh in the audience today, so big shout out to y'all for being with us. If you're not familiar, we're a marketing efficiency platform built for e-commerce. We work with over 2,000 D2C brands like Andy Swim, Death Wish Coffee, and Everyman Jack, just to name a few, to create marketing efficiency by gathering valuable zero and first-party data about their shoppers pre-purchase through campaigns and gamified experiences, and then being able to leverage that across the marketing funnel to create both personalized experiences on-site and, most importantly, off-site as well, through their existing email, their SMS programs, their mobile apps, and their ads platforms that you're already using today. So let's just get into a pop quiz right away. I want to ask this group for a chance to win that $75 gift card. How many Gmail users are there in the world? Let me know what you think in the comments. Is it a couple million? Is it several billion? Take a guess. Let me know in the comments how many Gmail users you think there are in the entire world. I'll give you all just a few seconds here. 2.8 billion. That's close. Actually, it is 1.8 billion, and that's still growing. So this might actually be closer to 2.8 billion by this point. But why does this matter? Well, really, if you've noticed, if you're a Gmail user, it's pretty easy to unsubscribe from a brand these days, from their email marketing. So you're getting inundated with sales emails, irrelevant offers, and maybe some uninspiring content in your inbox that really can make your email and your SMS inboxes feel more like a place of dread rather than a place of delight for the consumer. I'll paint an even more important picture of what you're probably facing today. And that's that you're likely being asked to do more with less. Email and SMS engagement is down, acquisition costs are up. That's why we're here today. Cookies are going away, markets are saturated. Really, the list goes on and on. But the reality is that you're paying so much to bring traffic to your store every single day, making it that every interaction then does seriously count. And so marketing efficiency focuses on making every interaction count and to be able to create great experiences that feel one-to-one but scale, and reducing friction in your funnel to be able to drive more conversions and create more profitable customers. So now I want to walk you through, with all that out of the way, 12 of my favorite examples, and I'm going to show you one by one how easy it is to turn this into a reality for your store. So my first strategy really is several, but it's called guided selling, or quizzes, that you might be familiar with. And the brand I want to walk you through is Andy Swim. So they're a global swimwear brand. They're a Digioh customer, and they've been partnering with us for quite some time now to really create an e-commerce funnel that is focused on efficiency, quizzes being a big component of that. And so when they came to Digioh, they knew that a quiz could hit on 5 goals for them: to make product recommendations at a one-to-many approach, to be able to increase their on-site engagement, to capture really valuable zero-party data, which is just a fancy way of saying preference data about their shoppers, leverage that data across the on-site experience, and then sending that into their email program, their SMS program, etc. And then, of course, at the end of the day, being able to improve conversions and ultimately drive more revenue for the business. So kind of a flywheel effect, if you will. We just did an entire activation with Andy as well at Grow New York last week. We had a line down the expo hall of brands wanting to come see what Andy had built with Digioh. It was an awesome day. We did a fireside chat too with Nick Sharma and their senior director of eCom, Charlotte, talking all about what Andy has built. So I highly recommend you check out this presentation on YouTube. But this this is taking a lot of notice right now in the e-com space, and for good reason. So before I talk about what Andy actually does, another pop quiz here about quizzes. So quizzes can be a huge conversion improvement for a D2C store. And so I want to ask this group, take a guess at how much of a conversion rate lift do you think guided selling, or AKA quizzes, can create for an e-commerce store? Let me know in the comments below what you think. I'll give you all just a few seconds to get those in. If you guessed 300%, you would be correct. So on average, we see people getting 300% or higher increases in their conversion rate when they add a quiz to their e-commerce funnel. And it's a super impactful way to be able to create more engagement, do all the things I just mentioned. I'm going to walk you through now what this actually looks like. So reason number one, guided selling quizzes. So on the left here is what you see Andy Swim has set up. This is their their style finder quiz. And it's 5 simple questions. I'll talk about how they get people into this funnel in a moment, but just to talk about the quiz, they basically have learned that they need to understand, once someone lands on the site, why did they come? What products are they looking for? What sizes, colors, all the things. You can imagine in the case of swimwear, it's pretty difficult to shop online and feel confident in that purchase. And so Andy asked a series of 5 questions, and then at the end, they're capturing an email address. The really awesome thing about this, I'll talk about the email impact in a moment, but once they get that email, all that zero-party data they just captured about who this person is then gets appended back to their email program, their SMS program, etc. And then once they have that recommendation made, on the right, you can see the results page here. So this recommends down from a massive product catalog to just 2 products that are right for this shopper, gives them sizing, colors, all the things. It's really personalized. It's native to their Shopify store. And it also is optimized for checkout. You can see how seamless this is to go straight to the Shopify checkout page from the results page, taking really what is a difficult, maybe shopping experience and making it super personalized and super tailored. This is great for maximizing every site visitor and making sure that they get a recommendation that can then convert in the moment. But just having a quiz is not enough. So reason number 2 is quiz promotion is everything. How you promote your quiz is literally what can make or break that conversion lift from actually that happening. So we recommend at Digioh, you at least want about 70 to 80% of your site traffic being able to see or interact with your quiz. And so I'll walk through a few of my favorite examples. There are tons of best practices outside of this. But what Andy's done, you can see in the navigation bar on the top image here, they've got it in their nav bar. So it says take the quiz or style quiz. And from this, they're able to go right into the quiz. Additionally, on their shopping cart, they have if someone doesn't have anything in their cart, they're able to then add or take that quiz from there too. So great way to get forward motion back to the quiz. This is just one of many ways Andy is getting this. Bonafide Health, the example below that, this is using our identification suite to be able to understand more about this site visitor. But if someone's idling on a page for too long, maybe they've visited several pages but haven't taken the quiz, to be able to push them to that quiz to make a recommendation and also offer them that incentive as well. So this is a fly out being able to capture that. And then Oars and Alps, this is a customer of ours as well, a men's skincare brand. They're using their email program to kind of give a teaser of the quiz. And then at the bottom of that email, there's a banner saying, hey, want a more personalized recommendation, take our quiz. So these are just 3 of many ways, but being able to get enough traffic to your quiz can make or break being able to actually then see that conversion lift. So we, of course, want people to convert on day 1 in the moment, but we know that that doesn't always happen. People, are busy. Things happen. Maybe they're not ready to buy right away. And so what I mentioned a moment ago with Andy, being able to capture that email address, being able to push all that data then into our retention platforms is what then creates retargeting. So with quiz data, you have really a treasure trove of information to be able to personalize messaging and do it through automated ways so it scales. You can see this example from Bonafide here, but they're sending a personalized recommendation email right after a quiz is taken. And this is an automated flow they've set up in their email platform. And it injects all of that data that they know about this shopper. So what their regimen was like, what their needs are, what right plan is for them. All these things here are personalized and just injected straight into this email. It's educational, and it sends them then back to, on the right, you see again that native results page. So once they click, taken straight back to that. They even promote their subscription offering here. These emails see 50 to 80% open rates and 10 to 20% click-through rates on average. They're a conversion machine, and they're great for just building a really personalized email and SMS program. So I cannot recommend enough. Retargeting with your quiz data is another unlock for lowering CAC, but also improving conversion rates. Another really awesome example of how you can use quizzes to lower CAC. This is a product finder experience. So this is a one question kind of quiz or experience, if you will. Haven Athletic, they're an awesome customer of ours. If you know Caleb Wolfers and that team over there, they are selling bags and backpacks, and they've learned that customers come to the site and really kind of maybe are a little bit overwhelmed with what's the right bag for me? Is it a backpack? Is it a duffel? Is it a travel bag? What am I looking for? So on their homepage, if you go to havenathletic.com, you can see this. Just scroll down a little bit. You'll see they ask that one question, and from there, they point them to a personalized collections page with just products that meet those criteria. This is great for creating forward motion, but also to helping them to understand what is bringing people to site and what are they looking for, so they can take this information back to their ads, to their buying strategy, all these different things. So it's great for the site, but also just making more informed decisions. So this is a great example, super easy to implement something like this. If you're a subscription brand, we all know that monthly recurring revenue is the lifeblood of D2C. And so this is Death Wish Coffee. They have used a quiz with Digioh. If you go to their website and you go to subscribe and save, you can see this quiz experience there. They've learned that people have a lot of questions when they're buying subscriptions. What's the right plan for me? How much coffee do I want every single month or 2 months? What flavor? All the different questions someone might have. It can be a big conversion blocker. And so they're using a quiz to be able to understand all this, capture that email, send all that data back to their ESP. But then what's really cool about this funnel is that it actually takes them straight from when they hit submit results to a checkout page. This has been massive for conversion lift. They're driving a lot of revenue from this funnel, but then all of the retargeting that happens. So you can imagine, say someone doesn't convert, they now know how to then personalize outreach to get them back to the table and maybe convert from email, from SMS. Maybe they do convert on their results page, but then maybe we want to send more personalized post-purchase communication based upon all the things that we know. This is really great for creating more efficient retargeting. And then ultimately too, just even again, like I mentioned with Haven, buying decisions, understanding what your customer's intent was. What are the pain points that they come to? What are they most interested in? This has been a massive unlock. They use Order Group for their subscription platform, but we are agnostic. We integrate with anything, so Recharge, Skio, etc. So if you do subscriptions, quizzes are a really great way to be able to get more people to convert. Just kind of putting our money where our mouth is in the results. This is Andy just coming back to this and what they've seen over the last year with Digioh quizzes. 55% increase in revenue growth from their automated email flows, 343% increase in conversion rates, and 37,000 additional emails acquired, but they never would have acquired before having that quiz funnel. So massive for the site, massive for the email program, and overall just a great experience for the customers to go through. So to recap, just kind of like what I kind of talked about, the first 5 examples here, big conversion impact. Obviously, we can see that 300% increase on average or more. Our email engagement, our SMS engagement is going up. We're sending more abandonment emails even too, because we're able to get more emails in, bringing more people back to the table. Great for lowering CAC as well. And then ultimately the list growth that we're bringing in as well. In the case of Andy that I just mentioned, they acquired 37,000 more emails just from that quiz funnel. So that's not their on-site pop-up. That's nothing else being triggered. That is just the quiz. So really, you're leaving things on the table if you don't think about strategies like this. Another strategy, moving on more to list growth now, is our mini quizzes. So this is Seraphine. They're a maternity and nursing clothes company. Super cool brand. I just had a baby, so my wife actually owns some of their clothing as well. But what they're doing on their opt-in is super unique and great for lowering CAC, because what they're doing is asking one simple question when someone opts in. Hey, are you expecting? Have you had your baby already? Or maybe you're interested in all the products. So this one question is a zero-party data point that they're able to then personalize the on-site experience once they opt in, but then send this back to their retention platforms to understand and segment this customer. So you can see they ask that question, and then they capture the email, the first name of the shopper, and then when their due date was, if the baby hasn't come yet, or if the baby's already come, it's dynamically updated to, hey, when did you have your baby? So maybe they know the birth date of the baby now, or they know when the baby's coming and they can personalize an email from there. These are the little things that list growth that when we think, we're so embedded now as e-commerce shoppers to just be giving our email, giving our SMS, but then there's no data about who we are, which creates a very vanilla experience. In the case of Seraphine, though, they're doing anything but that. And so they're personalizing then once that email is submitted, that on-site experience. So maybe they're showing products that are for expecting moms, or maybe they get a retargeting email that, has something related to what they learned about this shopper. So this is a really quick way to be able to do this, but learn a lot about your customer and increase the efficiency of your messaging from there. Speaking of efficiency, dynamic email. So we're capturing all this amazing zero-party data about a shopper from quizzes, our opt-in experiences, etc. But now we can do some cool things on email. So if you're familiar with hide show blocks, for example, maybe we know, going back to the Seraphine example, maybe we know that this is an expecting mom, so we don't want to show them, photos, images like on the email, or maybe products that are for 6-month-olds, for example. So we can hide show based upon that data that is known. Or maybe in the case of Everyman Jack, another customer of ours, maybe we know, hey, Blake likes sandalwood, so let's show Blake more sandalwood products and maybe not some of the other stuff. You can also use this in email copy and dynamic CTAs and in subject lines too. So maybe in the case of Ors and Alps with that quiz example that I showed you, maybe they say shop dry skin essentials. That pain point they can insert dynamically and create more relevancy there. Also, all this data can be used in your segment builder. So SendLane has an awesome segment builder, any other ESP you're using. So being able to put this data into already existing segments can create more personalized messaging. Also, all this can really improve click-through rates. Again, more relevancy in your emails can create more engagement. That also can then in turn create more revenue per recipient, lower unsubscribes, and really mitigate what I just showed you at the beginning, which is that dreaded unsubscribe. So using data is such an important piece of the marketing efficiency puzzle. If you're doing SMS marketing, you can do all of this as well. So again, you can dynamically insert this into your body copy. You can create segments from this to be able to create better audiences. And ultimately, all this does create better click-through rates and engagement. We know how expensive it is to acquire an SMS subscriber. To be able to use data to create better experiences can help mitigate that, improve your message revenue, and all the things that I just mentioned there. If you're doing ads, this is another really important one as well. A lot of what we see on the retargeting side is really generic vanilla experiences that every person kind of gets the same thing. But if someone went through a quiz funnel, you can take all that data and then push it into Google and create more relevant retargeting experiences. So, say you're a jewelry company and you just show generic retargeting ads, rather than just showing, generic things, maybe they matched with a watch, for example. We can then show them a dynamic image of that watch or copy that relates to that watch. Little things like that create better experiences and also kind of make the shopper feel a little bit more like they're getting a personalized experience with that data. So this is what can take a really vanilla retargeting experience and create much more relevancy, and doing it really quickly. We spend a lot of money on retargeting ads as e-com brands, and being able to stop the scroll is really everything and getting someone back to the site. So this is big for lowering CAC as well. If you use mobile apps like our friends at TapCart, we have a great integration there. You can use quizzes in your apps. This is another way to get people to make more purchases in your apps, but also learn a lot about them from this experience, and then also increase session time, which we know is so important to making someone just kind of routinely come back to the app. Perhaps you want to offer in-app exclusive discounts for someone who takes the quiz, being able to get someone to download the app. We know from the data at our friends at TapCart how valuable a app subscriber or an app download is. So to be able to incentivize ways to get them to download the app, quizzes are a really great way to do that. And then ultimately too, similar to email and SMS, we can take all this data and then be able to create personalized push notifications, automations, all that as well. So this data just creates a much more personalized app experience for the user. So the next two strategies and the last two that I want to talk about are really at the core of, I think, what make for effective on-site and off-site personalization, and that is identification. There's a stat that goes around that's been said that the average e-com store cannot identify up to 95% of their site traffic. While this varies from store to store, the really big issue is that a lot of stores just don't know who's on their site. And this could be for a number of reasons. 63% of mobile traffic in the USA is on Safari, which has a lot of privacy constraints there. Your ESP might be killing your cookies within 24 hours, for example. So we don't know who this person is if they come back, 36 hours later. Or maybe, I am browsing your store on my phone and then come back 2 days later on my desktop to make that purchase. The desktop doesn't then know who I am. and it's really a generic experience. Simply put, when you're trying to lower your CAC, making the most of every website visit and be able to understand who is on your site can really create an efficient marketing funnel. In the case of Safari, this is really, really important as well. I mentioned 24 hours killing off that cookie. What this means for your store is that if I get that cookie killed off, I come back and add a product to my cart 36 hours later, I might not trigger that abandonment email because they don't know my email address. They don't know who I am anymore because I came back 36 hours later, which is a big impact on our abandonment flows, being that they're one of the biggest revenue drivers for a store and engagement drivers. Not being able to send those abandonment emails can be a big, big blocker. But we sort of have likened this experience to that. You have an ice cream store, and a lot of what your site is like today is it's a vanilla experience. It's the same thing for everyone. If we can't identify this person, we can't create that personalized experience on the site. But what we want is a flavor for everyone. We want to be able to take all this data and understand who this person is, and then be able to kind of show a lot of unique experiences based upon that. I'll walk you through some of that in a moment here. But this is sort of what it looks like and how we do this at Digioh. We're able to pull all this data from your tech stack. So your ESP, your e-com platform, all these things, and we're able to understand, do we know who this person is or do we not? And then ultimately being able to kind of create that experience then from there can create more, as I mentioned, we're spending so much to send traffic to our store. We want to put the best foot forward every single time. So just a couple of examples. I don't have time to get to all of these. But coming back to that abandonment challenge, I mentioned we know that these flows are so important. And if we're not sending as many as we can, that's a big revenue drop for the store. So we're able to then combine your ESP's identity data and then extend that identity forever. We store this data server side, and then we're also cross-browser and cross-device. So that's really impactful. If I'm browsing on my phone and then I come back on my desktop 48 hours later, this means that Digioh is able to identify me on your store and then trigger that abandonment flow if I do browse something but don't convert or something to that effect. Really great for putting meaningful revenue that you otherwise wouldn't have had back in your pocket. Additionally, when you combine identity with list growth and quizzes, you're able to identify even more, personalize even more. So I put some examples here of what this can look like, showing list growth tools or experiences that are unique to that shopper. Maybe I know that I'm on a VIP list and I've been identified as a VIP, but I haven't given my SMS phone number yet. So maybe we want to show an SMS opt-in there, or maybe we want to show the VIP only offer to me because I'm coming back. In the case of this mystery flash sale here, there's so many things that you can do when you know who someone is or isn't. But ultimately, this is really what creates the little differences and being able to create just more experiences that feel like the website understands who I am at every single visit. Additionally, say I'm coming from a Meta ad, for example, and I want to show Meta subscribers something unique just to them. Digioh is able to understand who this person is and then get them in that funnel that way. So these are the little things that really can make a big difference in the conversion rate of the site, but also just really the customer experience at large. And this is use cases across the board, whether you're looking to improve your conversion rate, improve AOV, site abandonment, all the things I mentioned. Don't have time to get into everything, but this is super impactful stuff. And just to kind of show you what this looks like from a results perspective and how this does improve and lower our CAC. This is a store over Q2. They drove an additional $262,000 from Digioh's identification suite. And this is money they otherwise would have never had. It's doing several things. It's increasing the on-site personalization, as I mentioned, driving more conversions, better customer experience, but ultimately, as I mentioned with the email side of this, it's improving our email performance because we're getting more list growth, we're triggering more emails behaviorally, and all this is done just in the background as well. So you can see we went from, just under like 5% identified to 29.1 in 30 days. Super impactful stuff, and I cannot recommend people look into this enough when we think about marketing efficiency. And just lastly, this is Onspired. They came to us, they're a jewelry brand, super cool brand. They drove significant amount of email flow revenue over 30 days with Digioh by implementing this. Huge ROI. Really just overall, all the things I mentioned, this is really showing the results in the flesh here. So I just talked a lot at y'all, but I really want to kind of leave you with one final takeaway. And that's that marketing efficiency really does come from being able to learn more about your customers pre-purchase via things like quizzes, gamified campaigns, and then identification, all those things. but then being able to leverage that on-site and off-site. I think we have an easy button for that at Digioh, but at a bare minimum, I recommend you look at what is in your tech stack today and how you can create more of these experiences for your customers. So if you want to get in touch with me, I put a QR code here. You can scan that, go to digioh.com. Also, we're offering $50 for anyone who wants to explore the platform with us. So wouldn't be a shameless plug without saying that, but I'd love to talk with you all. I'll be a resource for you. Thanks, everyone.